Hello, welcome to Programming in Scratch, a basic guide, video 1. In this video we're going to introduce some basic ideas in information technology by defining key terms. We will link these terms to Scratch and then create a simple Scratch program while using the terms to describe and explain what we do. This means by the end of the video you should be able to make your own Scratch program and use the language we have introduced in your everyday conversations. So let's get started by defining our 5 important key terms. 1. Application. An application is a program or software that helps you do things on a computer or device, like play games, draw pictures, or write stories. Scratch itself is an application. It's a program you use to create your own games, animations, and stories. 2. File. A file is like a digital folder that stores something important, like a picture, a document, or your Scratch project. In Scratch, when you save your project, it creates a file on your computer with all the code, sprites, and backdrops you've made. 3. Digital artifact. A digital artifact is anything you create on a computer. It can be a picture, a video, a game, or even a project you made in Scratch. In Scratch, your finished project is a digital artifact. It could be a game you made, a funny animation, or even a cool story. 4. Object. An object is something that you can interact with in a program. It could be a character, a button, or even a piece of data like a number. In Scratch, objects are called sprites. Sprites are the characters or items in your project that you can move, animate, or give instructions to. 5. User interface. A user interface, UI for short, is what you see and use to interact with a program or app. It's the buttons, menus, and screens that help you do things. In Scratch, the user interface is what you see when you open Scratch. It includes the stage where your sprites move, the blocks you use to code, and the buttons to save or run your project. It's everything you use to make your project come to life. Let's see if we can put our new vocabulary to use. We are going to make our first very own digital artifact using Scratch. If you look at the screen, you can see we have already opened the Scratch application. Since we want to be able to keep what we make, we had better make sure our work is stored in a Scratch file. Let's start by giving our Scratch digital artifact, which we will usually call a program, a name. We will add a name here in this box. I am going to call this Scratch program Video 1. Since we are now staring at the Scratch user interface, this would be a good time to show you its main features. First, there is the stage. This is where you see your project come to life. It's like the stage in a theater where your characters, called sprites, perform. Everything that happens in your project, like movements and animations, will show up here. Second, there is the sprites area. This is where you manage all the characters and objects in your project. You can add new sprites, choose costumes, or switch between different characters to code each one. Third, there is the blocks palette. This area has all the coding blocks you can use. The blocks are grouped into categories like motion, looks, and sound. You drag these blocks to create the instructions for your sprites. Fourth, there is the scripts area. This is where you build your code. You drag blocks from the blocks palette and snap them together to create a sequence of instructions for your sprites. It's like putting together pieces of a puzzle to make your project work. Fifth, there is the backdrops area. Here, you can choose and design backgrounds for your stage. It's like setting the scene for your project, whether it's a city, a forest, or even outer space. Last, there is the green flag and red stop button. The green flag is like the start button that makes your project begin, and the red stop button stops everything that's happening on the stage. Now let's talk about the stuff that allows us to make things happen. Let's begin with the objects we use in Scratch. These are called sprites. When you first start Scratch, you'll see a character called Sprite 1. Let's see what we can do with it. Firstly, we can click on the sprite and drag it around the stage with our mouse. This lets us place the cat wherever we want on the stage. Try moving it to the top, bottom, or sides of the stage to see how it looks in different spots. Secondly, we can make the sprite bigger or smaller. To do this, go to the sprite area and find the size box. Right now, it's set to 100, which is the normal size. If we want the cat to be smaller, we type a smaller number, like 50. If we want it to be bigger, we try a larger number, like 150. Try changing the setting and watch how the sprite changes size on the stage. Thirdly, we can make the sprite hide or show on the stage using the eye icon. When we hide it, the sprite will disappear from the stage, and when we show it, it comes back. We can also rename the sprite. Right now, the sprite is called Sprite1, but let's give it a better name. In the Sprites area, click on the name Sprite1 and change it to something like Kitty. This name is better because it matches its look. Later, we will learn how to add a sprite of our own, but right now, Kitty is surrounded by nothing. Let's fix that by adding a backdrop. First, go to the Backdrops area. On the right side of the screen, under the stage, we see a small thumbnail that shows our current backdrop. Right now, it is plain white. Click on the little icon that looks like a picture or landscape. This will take you to the Backdrops library. Second, choose a backdrop. A window will pop up showing lots of different backdrops that we can use. See, there are different categories like outdoors, indoors, and space. Let's find the farm backdrop by clicking on the outdoors category. Third, find the farm. We scroll through the backdrops until we find one that looks like a farm. It has a big red barn, a chicken coop, and a fence and some trees. To finish up, we just click on the farm picture. Scratch will automatically add it to our stage. Now our stage looks like a farm, and our sprite Kitty is standing right in front of it. We have just set the scene for a kitty farm adventure. Let's add another sprite to our stage. How about a bear? First, on the bottom right side of the Scratch screen, we can find a little icon that looks like a cat's head with a plus sign. This is the Choose a Sprite button. Click on it. Second, when we click the button, a window will pop up with lots of different characters, animals, and objects you can use. This is the sprite library. Third, to find the bear, we can either scroll down through the list or type bear in the search bar at the top of the library. Let's find the bear sprite and click on it. Finally, once we click on the bear sprite, it will appear on our stage, along with our kitty sprite. We can now drag the bear around the stage, just like we did with Kitty. Well done! Our scene is set. Let's finish our walkthrough by getting Kitty to talk. First, we make sure we've selected the Kitty sprite by clicking on it. This makes sure we are adding code for Kitty only. Then, we click on the Code tab at the top to see all the blocks we can use. On the left side, we see the Blocks palette. This contains different categories of blocks like motion, looks, and sound. We click on the Looks category. The blocks here control how our sprite looks and what it says. Next, we find the block that says hello for 2 seconds. And drag it into the Scripts area, the big empty space in the middle. This block will make Kitty say hello for 2 seconds. Now, drag another say block from the Looks category into the Scripts area, right under the first one. Click inside the white text box in the say block where it says hello and type my name is Kitty. Now Kitty will say, my name is Kitty. Snap the second say block right under the first one like pieces of a puzzle. Finally, we need to click on the Events category, find the block that says when, green flag, clicked and drag it into the Scripts area. Now we can run our project by clicking the green flag. When we do this, Kitty will first say hello for 2 seconds, then my name is Kitty for another 2 seconds. And that's it. We have made our first Scratch program and learned some important terms in information technology. Now it's up to you. We've provided some ideas on how to extend your program. If you enjoyed our content, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe to our channels as it really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.